It is Thursday, and I have so many cool things I wanted to share with you today. Um, Welcome to Hanging with Muppin. It's Thursday, and I was supposed to be on here like a half an hour ago, and then forgot. No, I didn't forget. I was trying to eat my lunch and trying to get over here, and had to put my makeup on. It's been a day. So a couple things that are really exciting that's going on is there are all new smocking patterns in the shop. Diane, hi, how are you? There's new smocking patterns in the shop. Now, for those of you who have not been able to purchase these in printed form, because I don't offer the printed forms usually on my website. But this time, if you click on Facebook Live, there's a listing on my shop for Facebook Live. Let's pull that up. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Oh, you know what? I need to open it first. It's like it can't share the screen if we don't open it. All right, let's try this. Share screen. Let's do this. La 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 la. Hooray! There it is. Show that beautiful bean footage. All right, so as you can see, here are the individual listings for them on my website, right? So you can pick and choose which of these lovely little guys that you want. And I've always had this option, but let's say, Cheryl, you want all of them printed. Um, oh no, you're about to blow away. Your house is creaking. Yeah, it's raining here in Plainfield. Apparently, it is decided to rain instead of snow, which I'm very happy about today. Right here, this Facebook Live special. This is from last week's Facebook Live video from Muppin Sewing Emporium. If you didn't catch that, you will see right here is a listing for all 3 printed pattern sets. If you just want number 3, you can get just number 3. But if you've not purchased them in print before, then you can get just all 3 printed pattern sets for a very limited time. Oh, thank you so much, Diane. I appreciate that. So if you wanted to pick up all of these new heirloom sewing doodads, right? There's 8 new patterns. Some of them are you're not supposed to have favorites. I got this one right here. This rattan one is my favorite. This one I love the best. So that is what is new in the shop. So if you haven't checked that out yet, you should. Also, the February heirloom box. You're running out of time to get your February heirloom box, so don't delay in picking that up as well. So last week I came on here and I talked about my my sewing studio, which is a hot mess. And I thought I would talk to you about some of this because, you know, this is sort of like it's at the point now where I need to get this under control so that I can be in the studio and actually enjoy it. So for those of you that don't know, this is the old layout. You can see at the top there's a little doorway and there's a design wall in blue and a big giant yellow section there. That's the floor. That's the area rug on the floor. Now I have an adjustable table for my my sewing studio. And you know what? Let me pull up a picture of my studio because I think you guys would appreciate this. Every year I do a thing called the Spring Clean Your Studio blog hop. And I usually have pretty good pictures of the studio in its cleaner state in that section. So I'm going to pull that up. I think this coming year is the seventh year I've been doing the Spring Clean Your Studio blog hop. So let me pull this up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to hide this one. Share screen, doody. All right, here we go. So there we go. All right. So on the top, that was the old studio and how it was, hot mess. The bottom picture here, that is it in its clean state. And let's just click on that and you can, oh, it's like a double video or double picture. Well, that doesn't help me now, does it? Let me do this. I'm gonna save it to the computer and then we're gonna just pull it up separately because that way you guys can take a look at it in a bigger way. Is all this technology at my fingertips, right? Here we go. All right, so what you can see on the bottom is the clean version of the studio and well, that didn't help either. No, we don't like this. All right. On the bottom, you see the clean version of the studio. The sewing machine, this is standing in the doorway, and I would be facing the doorway as I sew. I'm also facing that design wall, which you see right inside the door and to the right. I'm directionally challenged. So right inside the door, right to the right is the design wall, which I really don't want to dismantle. I want to leave that one where it's at. So I believe I'm not going to change anything about the design wall. So that's the only thing that's going to remain the same. Along the back wall in front of the window is my ironing station. Now, I redesigned this and I hate it. And it's not my favorite. I I thought that I would move my machine closer to the window so that I would be able to look out the window. The problem is that outside of the window is like it's just a hot mess out there. It's not, and there's a little heating grate right in front of the window. So the problem with that is that the heating grate, my machine would be directly over the heating grate, and that's not good for my machine. So I had to make a change in the studio. I had to. So, but it was just not the right, it was not the right layout. Okay. So, organized chaos is how I function, Diane says, but you know what? Like, this is kind of a problem now. You can see on the top there, that's how I normally operate. This stuff is everywhere and it always accumulates in the same spots. And I can't function anymore. So let me hide this and let me show this again. So this is the layout of the old room. You could see right where there's like directional under the machine, like right here is where I would sit. And that section there, right where I didn't really do anything to it. So let's make yeah, so this color right here is where I would sit. You would see me sitting there. Usually I would be facing out that door and I'd be facing the design wall. Now up on this storage, that gray rack of storage that you see on the left, that is all of the fabric bins in this photo. Okay, this is storage bins, and you see the giant television sitting on top of it. And I do actually watch stuff and do have stuff on while I am sewing. Um, sometimes it's Netflix, sometimes it's YouTube and or podcasts or whatever. I do a lot of stuff with that television. So I really don't want to get rid of the TV in there. And so here is the current layout. Let me scroll on down to it. Okay, so here is the current room. Now, when you look at this and you see all of these orange bits, okay, the orange bits is where all the clutter accumulates. Now, you can see down by the window, there is the heating grate, which I've had to move the whole thing, the whole table more out in the middle of the room. You can see that if I have the the leaves of the sewing table up, that's the clear boxes around the sewing table, they are so bad. So bad. How bad? So bad. When the leaves are up, you can't move around the table. And I thought just by swapping the sewing table and the ironing station that I would really get more usefulness out of the room. And that is not at all what happened. I hate it. I cannot operate in there. And all those orange areas are clutter right now. So you can see that there's barely any room to walk into this room and get around to the sewing spot, which is now directly in front of the closet. It's just, none of this is happy time for me. I go in here, I feel very, I gotta get out of here, and then I leave. Okay, so that has led me to the third design, which I don't know how I'm gonna like it, but right now I can tell you I already like it more than the other ones. And so this is the potential new layout. And all you can see that that basically three things are happening. So the wall of these sewing, the wall of the of the fabric containers, okay, the ones you can see directly under the television in the bottom photo, all of those are going to move to the opposite wall. They're basically, so the television is also going to move to the opposite corner, closer to the window. I'm putting the ironing station back where it was. And I am moving the table, the sewing machine table, around, sort of flip-flopped from where it was. And instead of it being facing out the door, I will be facing the window and also have sort of an angle. And let me just insert this arrow so I can tell you. I will be facing this way with the TV. Okay, so I know some of you are probably like, but Cheryl, this is not like the golden triangle here, what I should be doing, because this sewing machine table is also my cutting table. Sometimes I do cut on the ironing station, but most times I cut on the when the leaves are out of the sewing machine table. So this puts my back to the design wall. You can see my little blue chair. You can see that my area rug is more exposed, which is great because much like the old layout, I think that this is going to work out a little bit better. I think I see an opportunity for more storage next to the rack of where the fabric goes. So I am encouraged here by this new layout. But, and here's kind of the funny thing, is I went and brought Charlie into the room and I said, all right, what do you think? And he was like, first of all, there's all this clutter. And honestly, a lot of it is because there's so much clutter in these orange areas right now. It's really hard to even see what this would even look like. You know, because we have so much stuff, and there's stuff on top of stuff. If you look in even the design photo of the last room, there's still a lot of stuff on the surfaces of everything and all of that. So what he is suggesting is to temporarily move, box up and move everything out except for the furniture, move the furniture where it's going to go, and then live with it for a couple of days. Because here was the thing, after I moved it, I hated it so much that I could not deal with it. Like I just, it was as soon as I moved it and sat down in the and to sit at the machine, I was like, nope, don't like this at all. Don't like this at all. I mean, it was like immediate. So what he's suggesting is that we move everything out and then move the furniture. And before we move one iota stick of anything back in here, that I live with it for a couple of days and see what that's going to do. Now, you know, it's a big deal to, you know, be dealing with this. First of all, a lot of this clutter is coming out of adding Max into our home. Having a room just for him meant that all the storage that I was putting in the room that he's using, well, that's all got to come in here somehow. So I am looking at getting all this orange stuff out of here, and it will move back into the room once I am comfortable with the layout itself. So that is our next project. And I believe we can move everything out this weekend and move the furniture into its spot. And then by Tuesday, when I come back onto the video with you guys, we can do a new tour and you can see how it looks. But you know, for the big part of this, you know, one, I know I'm super lucky to have this space to call my own. And because the business, you know, I do run this as a business and it is a big part of my day-to-day, I need to be able to work in here and actually get some, you know, quilting done, some projects done. I have so many new ideas and so many new quilts that I want to work on, but I don't have time because you get what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, this was the old way, but you can still see the clutter hotspots. And I'm not saying that once I get this room reorganized that I'm not going to have clutter hotspots, because that's just the kind of person I am. And the other thing is I am absolutely in the mindset that this studio needs to pare down. When you see all the fabric put away and organized, and my super awesome button quilt, button, you know, floor, you know, the rug, the area rug, which I love that area rug. But it's like right now it's just drowning in fabric and boxes of goodies that some company sent me at some point, and it's just, there's just too much stuff. And I know that there's a lot of people say like, oh, I have, you know, more stuff than you do or what have you. And I can appreciate that, because man, oh man. But one of the things that I really am frustrated by about my studio is that because I have too many things in there, too much products that people sent me, or fabrics that I even bought. I will never sew it all in my lifetime. There's some, I've mentioned this before. I have some ugly, ugly, ugly fabrics that I collected or bought or was given in the very beginning of my career in 1997 that I still have, that need to go away. And what I think I have decided to finally do is to get rid of a lot of this stuff, because I have a lot of storage. I have a lot of, and yes, I could add more storage to this room. That is absolutely 100% possible. However, when the more I look at it, I just feel like I just have too many things. And so I really want to have a place to properly store my quilts. This is one of the big things for me as an art quilter is, you know, um, my quilts don't get folded. They're rolled. And most of my quilts are under 40 inches wide. And so in the closet space, right, that I have here, this closet is plenty big for me to store the quilts that need to be stored, but I need to have kind of a system for that. And so I'm working on that, like the quilt storage system, and the idea that just in general in this room, it just needs to be more organized. So here was the old layout again, where I was sitting and facing the door and the area rug, which you can see. This is what's from the photo. And now here's the current layout with all the junk in it. I hate it. Um, but here's the new layout. And I keep thinking that, yeah, this might be the one. This might be the layout that um finally gets me going. So the other thing is I know there's a few of you who have like got that whole organization bug or organization aesthetic, and you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, Cheryl, you're going to be trapped behind that machine where that little blue chair thing is. You're going to be trapped back there, and you're going to have to walk all the way around. You're going to see me make this you're going to see me make this. Hang on, let me get it there. You're going to see me make this walk over and over again to go to my ironing board. And yeah, I mean, that might be how that works out. I might have to continue to walk around the table in order to get to the ironing station, or I can set up a little portable ironing station. I do have that ability. And what I could do is just set up a little ironing hotspot here. That could help me in that case. But I am really excited about having the ability to look, both out the window and out, at the TV, where the TV is going to be. I am also considering putting like a small bookcase right there. So hopefully this will help with some of this with some of the problem that I have with this room. And so, my friends, this is kind of where I'm headed. And I think the biggest challenge right now is to get the clutter, the chaos, the horribleness, which you saw on Tuesday last week, to get that out of there, so that this has, can have some of the structure that I'm hoping that it can. And I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with like the many years worth of magazines that I have. Um, I have magazines that will never crack open again in my entire lifetime. And so I have to really start to wonder, um, why am I keeping the magazines? And a lot of it used to come down to like, well, I don't know where I'll be inspired or whatever. But my quilt guild did a challenge not too long ago where we all took a magazine from like 1991 and 1992. And wow, are the quilts super dated and just and the directions are not current, or they're just, technology has come a long way and wouldn't do these in the same way. So I'm starting to wonder, like, from the magazine perspective, what do I do with all these quilt magazines that I have? Now, I have done this purge twice before. And with magazines, and what I did was I kept all the quilting arts magazines because that's my favorite one. And it really is about technique in those magazines more than it is, here's a project and make it. So I felt like the technique magazines I should keep. But the other ones, what I did was I tore my favorite pattern out and recycled the rest of that magazine. So I think I might be doing that again, is just tear out the patterns that I'm 100% in love with. The other thing is that, perhaps I need to release these magazines to people who want to read them. Now, my Quilt Guild, we do a rummage sale every year. And do you know what we have more of than anything else? Quilt patterns, quilt books, and quilt magazines. And at the end of the night, what happens is people are able to take the magazines for free. And you know what we have the most of left over at the end of the night? Quilt patterns and quilt magazines. And we can't even give them away 2 for 25 cents. And when they're at the end of the night and when they're free, nobody wants them still. So I'm starting to feel like weird about this clinging to all of these magazines. Now, here's the thing. I'm in plenty of magazines. So obviously I'm really like conflicted, right? And my friends are in magazines, right? All my designer friends are in magazines. I feel like I should be saving all these magazines, but when you see how many magazines I have, it's terrible. So I have to figure out what has to stay and what has to go. And some things really need to go. I'm just saying. So that's where I'm at right now, my friends. I hope my sharing of my new layout has helped you maybe a little bit. Maybe you can tell me what you think I need to do in here. I do love my fabric storage units and things like that, but man, oh man, there's fabric in there I will never touch. So I've got to figure this out. My friends, I must figure this out. And I hope you like that my corporate days are really showing here. I've designed everything in Microsoft Excel. And so that's been sort of weird and challenging too. Anyway, so hopefully you'll see us make some headway this weekend on the room, and I'll post some time-lapse videos of us cleaning the room out so you guys can have some entertainment on that front. My friends, thank you for hanging out with me. I'm going to go. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. Also, if you're one of my business friends, don't forget to join me at 3 p.m. Central Time over on Patreon. We're going to be talking more about Quilt Market, and also about where the Uber of the industry. What big transformation is coming for the quilt industry? So if you are in the business and you have not yet joined my Patreon, you should think about joining my Patreon. And so, my friends, take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Come back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Muppin's Sewing Emporium. We have some new specials and everything for you over there. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.